and welcome everyone to a very special edition of the FTW Podcast here on youtube.com/the FTW Podcast. My name is Garvin and I'm the producer of the show, and what I'm about to present to you is an off-air conversation that happened prior to the recording of episode 112 on May 1st, 2012. Now, we don't normally share these conversations as most of the time they aren't on topic, are riddled with audio problems, or are dominated by Harrison and I fighting because he's a cock and I'm normally right. However, this conversation is on topic. We talked about heel managers, TNA's recent gut check challenge, and how we feel about the recent debuts in both WWE and TNA. So without further ado, I bring to you episode 112 from the gorilla position.
Cool. Oh, so how did everybody enjoy Raw?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. It's still kind of meh. It just felt weird. Not maybe good or bad. I thought that, hey, if I ever get to see Triple H's arm get broken, that makes me a happy fellow. But
yeah, I mean, the only thing that comes out of it to me is that we get a Ring of Honor pay-per-view type match at Over the Limit.
I'm not gonna lie. I screamed like a little girl. I really did.
Nice.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait for that match. The match is going to be amazing.
Yeah, the pay-per-view I thought on the whole was excellent, but that main event was so it felt out of place, and after a while, it just got uncomfortable.
Oh, what, from Extreme Rules?
Yeah.
It felt like watching the main event. It felt like I was watching Rocky IV.
Yeah, was it Joe who posted that?
Same thing.
Huh?
Was it Jill who posted that?
Yeah, it was Joe.
Joe might have. I just got the same feeling.
Yeah. It was just watching Brock just beat after a while, it was like, okay, that's enough. Okay.
Wasn't enough for me. I loved it. I just
Jean-Claude Van Damme doesn't take this much punishment. Come on. You can have Cena fight back now. It's really okay.
I'm like, what? Did he just like take a deuce in Vince's cereal right before he walked out? Because, damn. I mean, Vince just like fucking beat his fucking ass.
If you listen very quietly right before the bell rings, you can hear Vince yelling in the background, "Who did this to my cereal?"
I think it was John, boss. Kill him.
Which John?
Yeah, I've got 50. Narrow it down a bit.
Of course, Laurinaitis has the most like, "It wasn't me, Vince. You know I'm not like that. I'm all about people power."
Looks like the people took a deuce in my cereal.
Although there was one cool thing that I thought was kind of, it just made me love Laurinaitis more as a heel, was the fact that at the very beginning of the show, he was all Lesnar, and at the very end of the show, he was just like, "John, I was trying to push you. I was trying to motivate." I'm like, "You dick."
Yeah.
You know, as much as people bitch about John Laurinaitis, I love him in that role. It works. And everyone's like, it's so bad. He's so, he's just so monotone and so, like Harrison's bitch. He's the guy next door, he's generic white guy number 2. That's the point.
Exactly. That's what makes it work. It's like Vicky Guerrero. Instant heat. Instant. Like, as soon as you hear the "excuse me," a sea of boos just runs through the arena. And that's what, I think, I can't remember which Raw it was, but there was a Raw where Cena was doing a mic thing, and then she brought out Ziggler. And she couldn't get in a word in edgewise for like 10 minutes because the crowd just adamantly booed her so loud and so strong that she couldn't get like her first line out for like 10 minutes. And even Cena's like, "Come on, guys, give her a break." And she's like, "Excuse me," and then just go right back to it.
Yep. That was an awesome. I do remember that.
Yeah, you know you've got a good heel thing when even the face has to go, "Okay, guys, we get it. You hate her. Can you let us get on with the show, please?"
USA isn't that friendly to us.
USA is going to cut us off at 10 o'clock, regardless.
They're not like the pay-per-view company for WCW. That's not, you know.
And to her credit, Vicky milks that for all it's worth. She uses that expertly.
Oh yeah.
Especially in a time and age when managers aren't really a big thing in wrestling right now.
Yeah, she's probably one of the best heel. She's probably the best heel manager I can think of since Bobby the Brain Heenan.
I could see that. I mean, I can see her generating the heat, which is amazing because she can generate heat without even really opening her mouth, like say. Because all she does is she intros the guys. That's it. Not
just generating the heat, but she can also talk on the mic, which a lot of managers don't do.
True. Although,
and that was something Bobby the Brain Heenan was great at too. Bobby the Brain, if his guy wasn't strong on the mic, he would grab the mic and tell you why his guy was going to beat the crap out of generic good guy number one.
Oh yeah, and not to discourage Vicky. However, Bobby was at such a different level than everybody else.
He was. The man was a genius when it came to heels. He's probably the best heel manager, period, in pro wrestling.
I'd say number 2 to that would probably be either Blassie or Jimmy Hart. And I love Jimmy Hart mainly because, and he said this in an interview, he says, I'm willing to do anything. You name it, I'll do it. He goes,
yeah.
A lot of people are iffy about what they want to do in the wrestling business. I said, not me, because they'll remember you for it. It may not be the most, it may be a humiliating moment, but they'll remember you for it, and that's the point. Like the whole thing with, what was it? I think the British Bulldogs brought an actual bulldog.
Yeah.
And it bit him in the ass. Yeah, that whole bit was great.
Yeah, you would always just take a deuce at ringside.
Somehow I feel that's symbolic of certain matches in WWF at that time.
Yeah.
I'd probably agree with you that in order it would probably go Bobby the Brain Heenan number 1, Jimmy Hart number 2, because a lot of managers aren't willing to take shots from wrestlers, aren't willing to take bumps. But both Bobby the Brain Heenan and Jimmy Hart had no problem with letting a wrestler nail them.
Well, who's number 3?
Vicky.
Over Cornette?
Ooh.
Over Cornette, yes.
Ooh.
Over Mr. Fuji?
Mr. Fuji.
I was actually that part is I was just bring him up.
Where's Slick? Where's Master Slick in all this?
Dr. Stizile?
Yes. I gotta
probably serving some food to people.
Wait, what the hell's the name of Tensai's handler? I don't even know his name. Is it like...
I don't know, but Steph was just walking through the room, and she's like, hey, that's that reporter guy, isn't it? And I looked at him, and I'm like, you mean Funaki? She's like, yeah, that's the same guy, right?
I think... What's the handler's name? It's like Mitsubishi or something like that, right?
I don't know. I'm actually looking up. So I want to see a good picture of Quang, because I've got a friend in the Dayton area who was at the SmackDown taping at the Raw taping, and his seat. I mean, he was he was like on the. If you're looking up the ramp, he's at the base of the ramp on the left. He had a Bork laser sign.
That's great.
Yeah. But apparently he thinks that Lord Tensai, it's the same mask as Quang used to use, or Savio Vega used to use when he was Quang.
Probably. He
probably
found a freaking trunk of stuff that WWE doesn't use for costumes anymore, and just randomly started picking through stuff. And then, at the very bottom, he found a Sharpie.
Oh, that's nice. I type in Quang images into Google, and then I click on the images tab. The second thing is a vagina with a
I'm there as well.
I just love how Joe builds it up, and Rob's like, yeah, I'm on the same page as you.
That was
Garvin.
Yeah,
I'm
it's not
Rob.
the same mask.
Which picture you're looking at?
No, that's a different mask. Wow. That is his mask. Go Power Rangers.
I love Google's accuracy.
Vagina with a
You mean
Did you mean labia? What the fuck?
Oh God, that's funny.
Okay. I love you guys.
Sakamoto.
Sakamoto, that's him. Yeah.
Hey, did anybody like Cesaro's debut on SmackDown?
Eh,
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed.
Not even with the flying upper European uppercut.
That was pretty cool.
That was cool. I've always liked the European uppercut, though.
Yeah.
He's brutal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have a weakness for the European uppercut.
Have you ever seen Claudio's stuff in the Indies? It's ridiculous. He uses it almost all the time.
No, I'm going to have to go check some of that stuff out.
His better stuff was probably, I think, he did do a lot in Ring of Honor, but Shikara is one of his big feds that he used to wrestle for, and he used it, guaranteed, he used it at least a couple matches, like at least twice or three times during a match, so probably see a lot more of in the future.
Speaking of debuts, did anybody watch Impact?
Yes.
Check. What did you guys think of Alex Silva?
How did I miss that?
Yeah, that was their gut wrench or gut check.
Yeah, I didn't care for him.
Yeah, it was kind of boring, I thought. But it
Oh,
could have
really?
been Robbie E. Robbie E. kind of rushed it seemed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I blame Robbie E for that a lot more than I do Silva. It seemed like he rushed the match, and coming from Ohio Valley, I think Silva will be the first of the guys that really shows that this was a good move for TNA. I mean, they got the guy just from Ohio Valley. He's decent in the ring, and he can cut a promo, and he can talk on the mic, which is more than a lot of TNA's quote-unquote homegrown talent can do.
Do you think they'll use the gut check thing as a catalyst for angles, rather than just using it strictly for bringing guys in? Do you think they'll use it to, as angles too? Because, they could do an angle where they bring in a guy who's, like, amazing, fantastic, perfect, and then one of the judges doesn't like him, and then they flip out, and then they, they could do all sorts of things with it.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to see them do it, but I don't know if they're willing to do that. But I could definitely see them I could definitely see that. I could definitely see the possibilities. I just don't know if TNA is willing to risk using it that way.
Well, the one thing I'm waiting for too is they're probably going to bring a majority of guys from OVW, obviously, to bring in this gut check thing. I'm waiting for the really crappy wrestlers, the really crappy ones, because they're gonna. Because they can't all be diamonds. There's got to be at least a couple horrible, like really bad ones.
And given the fact that they're not just, and given the fact that they're not just limiting it to like Ohio Valley places where they can control. I mean, you can go to the TNA website and fill out an application for the gut check, and everything.
I'm so doing it.
So there is there's going to be a lot of just. I'm sure they're going to be flooded with shitty wrestlers. I want to see the shitty wrestlers that don't even make it on. Just the people that Al Snow and the other guys have to put up with. Like, dude, why did you even send in a video to us? Get the hell out of here.
That's what I want to see too. I want to see them I want to see a horrible wrestler get squashed by a jobber in TNA. That's just all I want. Like, that's just going to be fantastic. Just fantastic. It's like, wow, you can't even beat that guy? Sheesh. Or on the flip side of that, you see the horrible wrestler beat TNA's jobber. It's like,
well,
sheesh. Like, for example, for some reason I remember the oily fat guy from the DX angle back in like 06?
Meat?
Big Dick Johnson?
Thank you. I couldn't think of his name. Imagine him just getting in and, that's for some reason I picture that at gut check.
Well,
do you remember
slipping off the apron trying to get in the ring?
Do you remember when Midian was Meat and he was running into the ring in a thong?
No. His name wasn't Meat, because Meat was the that Sean guy when he was with Melina, or not Melina, sorry, Marlena, the
Melina.
Oh yeah,
Goldust's
yeah, yeah,
wife?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Marlena.
Terry, Terry, yeah,
Terry,
Terry.
whatever the hell her. Yeah.
Terry Reynolds.
See, I'm not upset with the wrestlers losing. I think you actually find out more about a wrestler when they lose a match than you do when they win. So I'm not upset with Robbie E beating Silva. I mean, I would have liked.
I'm not upset. I'm not upset either. I'm just.
But I do think Robbie E was probably the wrong wrestler to put a new guy up against. Robbie E
Who would you
doesn't.
put up against?
Austin Aries or somebody
He
who's
would kill him.
yeah, but he'd kill him, but he could also make Aries, but he could also make Silva look good. Austin Aries made Sorensen and Zima look fucking amazing. So Aries has shown to me that in addition to being just an awesome wrestler, he's he can put a guy over. Outside of that,
you
if
would
you don't
rather
want to use
see
a champion,
But if you keep putting them against people that are already, have a firm footing, I think it's a bad situation for the new guys trying to make a name for themselves. But like instead of like an Austin Aries or even a Robbie E, throw them up against a guy like Brian Kendricks, who isn't on TV anymore, or
Amazing Red.
Yeah, just anyone who's not on TV who's also trying to fight for TV time.
Yeah, that's a good idea too, Garvin.
Well, the other thing too is I don't know if they mentioned this or not, but I mean you could do that too. It would be beneficial. Don't get me wrong, but I think that the judges don't really, at least from the way they've described the gut check process. Again, I don't know the whole detail, but it doesn't look like the fact that they win or lose the match has almost nothing to do with. I mean, obviously it has something to do with, but it's like if they lose, they're out. It's not like that. They could theoretically the guy could lose a match and get a contract.
Right. They're looking at it from the professional wrestling angle. Do you have talent? Are you good on the mic? Do you look good in the ring? Do you winning or losing the match doesn't really factor into it. I'm just saying that given the way pro wrestling works with everything being choreographed and scripted and whatnot, you learn more about a guy when they lose a match than you do when they win a match. I mean, it's one thing to say, okay, kid, this is your tryout match. We're going to have you go out and beat Robbie E, and let's see what you can do. It's another thing to say, okay, you're gonna go out. This is the worst fucking wrestler we have. His name is Robbie E, and he's gonna beat you. Good luck, kid.
Good point.
Oh, wait, what? Did you want a career? It is now 8:00, gentlemen.
Yeah, so it is.
Well, you've heard our thoughts, but now we want to hear from you. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter, and even join us live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. at theftwpodcast.com.